Oh, today is Monday, April 14th, 2025. I'm back to Seoul and I will uh, go to Puan or Chesagang, that's the Kunsan city this weekend. And I will join my entire larger family, my brothers, my sister's families to enjoy 2 days outing out in the Kunsan city. We live mostly in Gwangju, so I would be happy about that. As with other days, I would like to read an English article for the day to start off the day. And I am at my office. I came to my office at 7:40, right? No, 7:30. And I just clean up my desk. I turn on the computer. I brewed a cup of a pu'er tea, Chinese tea, and I drank it. And I just checked briefly on the emails, and I just took care of several things. And I'm back to I'm in the labor union's office. Dear Abby was my go-to material in my college year to read an English article. Right after my military service with the U.S. Army as a Katusa soldier or Korean augmentation troops to the U.S. Army, I just started to read the English article because there were virtually no Americans available in my college, Cheonnam National University, and I wanted to keep up with my English that I learned from the U.S. Army soldiers. So that's how my habit was kept with me for the past 30 or close to, for the past 30 years, right? 35 years. So I would like to go back and feel how it feels to read in Dear Abby article. This one is by Abigail Van Buren. She's I think she's dead, I don't know, about 90 years old or 100 years old. So let's go hit the more button. Grown children no longer communicate as often. By Abigail Van Buren, Dear Abby, April 13th, 2025. Dear Abby, my godchildren and I were always very close. They consider me literally their second mom. Until now, we were blessed with great communication. The oldest always sent me a warm Mother's Day greeting and called me often. About a year ago, she started ignoring all of my overtures. Her younger sister, who is also grown with children, commented on how odd it was. What? Who is also grown with children, right? The younger sister is grown, but she's married probably, and she has children, grown with children. Commented on how odd it was. But now she's doing it too. She said she thought it was terrible, but now she no longer returns phone calls. Once in a while, she will send a loving text, but she says she's busy. My godson, the one I'm closest to, has no problems like this. When I ask if he thinks something is wrong with my girls or if their feelings toward me have changed, he says they are probably busy. When I ask the younger one if something is wrong, she always says, "No, love you, mama," being busy, but she no longer initiates contact. The older girl now ignores me completely. I don't know what to do. That's heartbreaking, right? My grown godchildren are like my own. Please help. said godmother in Florida. Dear godmother, you are taking the silence as rejection, which is a mistake. Wow, that's good expression, right? Here. You are taking the silence as a rejection, which is a mistake. Your godchildren are no longer children. They are adults with adult responsibilities, including children, spouses, and careers that fill their time. Your godson and younger goddaughter have told you why they are not in contact as often as they used to be. It's time to back off. Fill your time with other pursuits, such as activities you enjoy, time with contemporaries, and volunteering your spare time to causes you feel are worthwhile, right? So they are grown children. You are taking silence as rejection, right? Overtures, suggestions, right? Overtures. But before I move on to the next article, I would like to go back to the word overture, right? I like dictionary.com. So, an opening or initiating move toward negotiations, a new relationship, an agreement, etc., a formal or informal proposal or offer. Overtures of peace, a shy man who rarely made overtures of friendships. An orchestral composition forming the prelude and introduction to an opera, oratorio, etc., an independent piece of similar character. Overture. So I go back, right? So from this article, I learned that overtures, right? You are taking silence as rejection, which is a mistake. Let me see comments, right? Let me check out his response. Many years ago, there was a lonely elderly woman I used to visit occasionally. The problem was, no matter what I did, it was never enough. If I stayed for an hour, she made me feel guilty that it wasn't too. If I visited monthly, she complained that it wasn't weekly. If I called her to see how she was doing, she was upset that I wasn't there in person. She wore me out, and I never felt good about what I did because she always disappointed that it wasn't more. I know she was just needy, and her own children and grandchildren didn't pay much attention to her. She probably wore them out too. But I got to the point where I dreaded any contact with her because I always felt feeling bad about it. And I slowly stopped seeing her at all. Your letter reminded me of her. I suspect your neediness has worn out your godchildren and you've driven them away. If you want them in your life, resolve to make them feel good about what they do and not guilty about what they don't do. Okay. Another article, right? Woman doesn't want to pay unemployed sister's rent. By Abigail Van Buren, Dear Abby, April 12th, 2025. Dear Abby, at 63, I am the youngest sister of 4 siblings. We grew up in the turmoil of dad's alcoholism and hoarding, as well as physical and emotional abuse from both our parents. One of my sisters, June, was sexually assaulted by my brother. She is 71 now and hasn't worked since she was in her early 30s. She supports herself on Social Security and a pension from her ex-husband. Her ex-husband recently passed away and the pension stopped. Oh, so she got the pension, right? A pension. So she supports herself on Social Security, SSI, right? And a pension from her ex-husband. A pension, right? It's a singular word, plural maybe. A pension from her ex-husband. Her ex-husband recently passed away and the pension stopped. She now expects my sister and me to pay her rent because she's too old to be working anymore. Abby, June is perfectly capable of getting a part-time job. She refuses to apply for anything despite my telling her I will pay her rent for only 2 more months. My sister Lisa is guilting me by saying we don't want to see her on the street. I'm about to retire after working 48 years. I worked 2 jobs until I was 52. I am extremely angry about the situation. Although I can afford it, I don't feel it should be my responsibility because June won't make any effort to help herself. Advice? Sibling drama in New York. Dear sibling drama, schedule a family discussion for yourself and your 2 sisters. At that time, tell them you are willing to help June, and if she gets a part-time job, you would be willing to pay part of her rent if Lisa will split the cost with you. Do this only if your sisters are willing to make it a joint effort. Quagmire, between a rock and a hard place. A couple's mealtime prayer mocked by younger relatives. Dear Abby, my husband and I always host every holiday. During each holiday, before we eat, we say a Catholic mealtime prayer because we are religious. A mealtime prayer. A Catholic mealtime prayer. Catholic mealtime prayer. However, recently my husband's nieces and nephews, who are in their early 20s, stopped participating in the prayer. I'm okay with that, but they talk and mock our prayer while we are praying. That's terrible, man. That's terrible. How can we handle this? Our children noticed how inappropriate they were. I understand if they don't want to participate, but shouldn't they sit quietly and respect us? I am against them coming into our home, mocking our religion, and then putting out their hand for a gift. Thanks for any words of wisdom. Faithful Hosties in Pennsylvania. Dear Hosties, wow, your husband's nieces and nephews' behavior is beyond rude. That's good expression too. Your husband's nieces, right? Your husband's nieces and nephews' behavior is beyond rude. If they don't wish to join you in the pre-meal prayer, they absolutely should be respectful and sit quietly until you are finished. When it happens again, the first words out of your husband's mouth after Amen should be to tell them that what they are doing is rude and not appreciated. However, if he can't bring himself to do that, the ball will be in your court, right? The ball will be in your court. The ball will be in your court. Passover begins this evening. Dear readers, so the ball is in your court. The ball is in your court. Dear readers, At sundown, the first night of Passover begins. This major Jewish holiday celebrates the most momentous event in Jewish history. Most momentous event, right? That's another good expression. The most momentous event in Jewish holiday. The most momentous event in Jewish holiday. The most momentous event in the Jewish holiday. The liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt. Oh, okay, so that's Passover, right? I keep forgetting about it because I'm not religious. Passover. The liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt. The liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt. The liberation of Jewish people from the slavery of Egypt. The Passover, the most momentous event in Jewish history. The most momentous event in the Jewish history. Happy Passover to my readers who observe this important holiday. Passover. Happy Passover. Comedian brothers' feud is no laughing matter. Dear Abby, my husband and I are the parents of 3 grown sons. Our middle son, Kurt, age 29, has been in conflict with his younger brother, Jared, age 26, for more than a year. Kurt started doing stand-up comedy, but still works a day job to pay his bills. Jared now has also started doing comedy. Jared now has also started doing comedy. We suspect the disagreement started well before they did stand-up, but now there is a name calling, and both refuse to be in the same room as the other. Kurt has not attended a family gathering where Jared is in attendance for more than a year. Recently, Kurt said he would attend our holidays and could be civil, but now Jared says he won't be in the same room with him since they have had no dialogue and the personal attacks were not addressed. He wants Kurt to be held accountable, right? He could be civil. He could be civil. He could be civil, right? He could be civil. He wants Kurt to be held accountable. 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 Could be civil. They had one joint counseling session. Both found it counterproductive. My sons are adults and we can't tell them how to live their lives. Kurt wants Jared to quit comedy because he feels it is an invasion of his life as well as his friend circle. What? Kurt wants Jared to quit comedy because he feels it is an invasion of his life as well as his friend circle. Kurt has said mean things to these shared friends. Jared has apologized to Kurt for his past behavior, which included excessive drinking and other destructive activities. As you can imagine, we don't find any of this funny. We as parents don't know how to handle this. Your advice is greatly appreciated. Parents in turmoil in Ohio. Wow. So Kurt and Jared in conflict with each other, right? They are into stand-up, and Jared wants Kurt to be held accountable. Kurt promised to be civil in the family gathering. Dear parents, you can't fix this. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Continue to invite both of your sons to family gatherings and hope that eventually Jared will mellow. Comedy is a tough field. May the best comedian be left standing, right? Détente. Détente. We call it détente. But let's find out the exact pronunciation. I know the meaning, right? Détente. A compromise, negotiation, peace. Détente. The Cold War becomes Warm War, détente. Shaking hands, right?
Détente.
Oh, détente.
Détente.
Détente. Détente. Détente. A relaxing of tension, especially between nations, as the negotiations or agreements. Détente.
Détente.
Détente. Détente. So that was its pronunciation, right? So détente. So could be civil, détente. Let me go back and remember the most momentous event in Jewish history, the liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt, détente. Right, could be civil here. Could be civil. He wants Kurt to be held accountable. And détente, the word détente. Détente on their own. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Détente on their own. Homeowner plans to part with a long-time housekeeper. Dear Abby, I have had a house cleaner helping me to take care of my home for the last 30 years. She comes sometimes every week, sometimes every other week. She works part-time at another job, and we worked around her schedule. When I retired 5 years ago and the pandemic began, I was sitting full-time for my grandkids. Everyone is in school now, and I think I would like to clean the house myself. I enjoy cleaning, but I welcomed their help when I was working full-time with my kids and then the grandkids. My house cleaner and I are friendly and visit when she's here. I'm wondering how to go about ending this relationship, as well as what I owe her for her loyalty and help. Cleaning house in Pennsylvania. Dear cleaning house, talk to your housekeeper and explain to her what you are thinking. Offer her several months' salary, then instead of cutting her off completely, ask if she would come to you once a month to catch any spots you miss, as well as to visit. You said you have become friends. After doing the house cleaning for a month or so, you may find it isn't as enjoyable as you remembered and increase the woman's visits if she's still available. Good housekeepers are hard to find, and she may be busy. Husband's retirement is off to a rocky start by Abigail Van Buren, Dear Abby. My husband retired 3 weeks ago, and he has been driving me crazy ever since. I'm a night owl, and he's known it since we met 10 years ago. Today, he told me he would be playing golf with an old friend tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. at a course 45 minutes away and needed to get up at 6 a.m. at a course. I asked if he could be extra quiet in the morning and use the guest bathroom to shower so he wouldn't wake me an hour early. So she gets up at 7 o'clock, right? He huffily put his towel and shampoo in the guest shower, stomped back to his easy chair, and plopped down heavily. When I asked him what was wrong, he said he was annoyed that he couldn't take his shower in our regular bathroom. I said I was annoyed that it would make me lose an hour of sleep before working an 8-hour day. He said, "Sorry you are annoyed, but I'm retired and things are changing." I never expected him to get up early in retirement. Is it asking too much that my routine and sleep schedule not be disrupted as long as I'm still working? After that, anything goes, but I still need the structure. Thorne in Massachusetts. Dear Thorne, I will assume that your marriage has been a happy one until now, and that usually involves compromise. I do not think your request that he shower in the guest room so you could stay on your sleep schedule was asking too much. I wonder why he would say things are changing unilaterally. Could he miss the unquestioned authority his former job afforded him? I ask because of the tone in which he said he did. If he decides to punish you for asking him to shower in the guest room on mornings when he has a golf game, suggest that you will sleep in the guest room on those nights. Yeah, good advice. Either she could move on to a guest room, or her husband of 10 years, could take a shower in the guest bathroom. Okay, I will just stop here and move on to another article. But before I go, I would like to go over the sentences, right? Consternation that I learned today. You are taking the silence as rejection. You are taking silence as rejection, which is a mistake. A Catholic mealtime prayer. A Catholic mealtime prayer. Your husband's nieces and nephews' behavior is beyond rude. The ball will be in your court. The ball will be in your court. The ball will be in your court. The most momentous event in Jewish history, the liberation of the Jewish people in slavery from Egypt. The most momentous event in Jewish history, the liberation of the Jewish people from slavery in Egypt. Could be civil, right? Could be civil. Could be civil. He wants Kurt to be held accountable. He wants Kurt to be held accountable. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Your sons are adults and will have to reach a détente on their own. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening and have a wonderful Monday.